Hey, ladies, and welcome back to another episode of the Girl Boss Method podcast. I'm your host, Richu Bra, and I'm joined here again by our wonderful co-host, Daniela Del Carpio. So Daniela is also an online fitness coach, and her business is called the DDC Fitness. So Daniela, thank you for joining us again. How's your day been so far?
Hi, Richie. No, thank you for having me again. As you guys know, this is gonna be a weekly thing every single Tuesday, New Zealand time, and Monday, UK time. We're gonna be recording this podcast. But my day has been great. I went to the gym this morning, did some arms and cardio, went home. Got home, showered, changed, did some work, and now we're here filming this podcast, which is also gonna be available on YouTube. So make sure to check it out on YouTube as well. And what are we gonna be talking about today, Richu?
So today's topic, because we're sort of we're coming out of autumn and towards winter, we have 2 months exactly until the end of the year. What happens before the end of the year? We have Christmas. What happens in the lead up to Christmas, especially when it comes to staying on track with our fitness, prior to Christmas itself. So yeah, that's basically what we're talking about today. So yeah, I guess the first thing that we want to think about, Daniela, is between now and then, is there anything that you find gets in the way of your clients and their goals?
Yeah. I feel like the main thing right now for them, it's social events. Because obviously with Christmas approaching, it's literally less than 2 months. There's gonna be Christmas party at work. There's gonna be Christmas party or reunions with your friends, with your family. And there's just so many events coming up. And I know that's something that my customers, my clients have told me, because they're really afraid that all these events, all this food, all this alcohol is going to ruin the progress that they are making. It's going to, all the hard work they've been doing for the past few weeks, for the past few months, it's just going to go to waste, because they really think that enjoying this time, it's going to make them do exactly that, throw that progress away. And I think something that we can talk about, we're going to talk about right now, it's like how you can deal with those situations, especially with having so many social events around this time of the year, to ensure that you can stay on track and then at the same time enjoy those social events, because we don't want you guys to stop being social. We don't want you guys to stay at home and do absolutely nothing and say no to everyone, because that's not the way you want to live your life. Something we always mention on this podcast is like, this is a lifestyle. This is not a quick fix. This is not just you getting ready for summertime, because in New Zealand, it's summertime very, very soon. This is not just getting ready for a special event. This is getting ready for life, because it's a lifestyle. So let's start sharing some tips to help you do exactly that. And I'm going to start because I've got one right here in the top of my mind. I think the first one is for you to decide, what exactly do you want to do the next few weeks? Like, are you someone that wants to stay on track? Or are you someone that just wants to enjoy everything, enjoy the holiday season, enjoy those social events and not worry about anything, and then get back on track next year? And the reason why I say this is because I feel like there's two different types of people right now. You might have the mindset of, yeah, I want to stay on track, but you also might have the mindset of, I want to take a little break. I want this time to be just some time to enjoy with my friends, with my family. And I know next year, New Year's resolution, I want to set my new goals and then jump back on track as soon as 2024 comes in. I feel like if you have that mindset, you want to give yourself a break, maybe you're approaching this fitness lifestyle in the wrong direction or in the wrong way. Because if you're thinking about taking a break, then whatever you're doing, maybe it's too strict. Maybe you are restricting yourself too much, that you feel the need to take this break. You feel the need to take this time off, quote unquote, time off from the nutrition that you're doing, from the meal plan that you're following, from the training, because maybe it's getting too much. So maybe that's something you need to ask yourself. Like, am I being too strict with what I'm doing? Am I really enjoying what I'm doing? Do I really need to take this break? Because I feel like that's a mindset that I'm not saying everyone, but I know some people are having right now. But what are your thoughts about this, Richu? Like, what do you think about those people that maybe right now, if you're listening, you're thinking, I just want to take a break, enjoy, and not have to worry about anything at all?
I think there's a risk in that. And so I was talking actually on some prior episodes as well about this, because I feel like it's definitely a running theme right now. This definitely is the time of year where people start to take a back seat. They decide that they're going to start in January. And the risk with that is if they have spent a long time in, like, let's say a calorie deficit, they've spent long, hard months, working towards a weight loss or fat loss goal, and they decide to completely switch off. The risk with that is, in some ways there could be some undoing. And I use that quite loosely, that term, because we haven't had the chance to really get that client into, or you haven't, if you're listening to this and that's been you haven't had the chance to really get into what we call like a maintenance phase. And I think that's like heavily important when it comes to your fitness journey, because within that, we are still keeping, you're enjoying yourself. You're able to have the social flexibility. But also in terms of your mindset, you haven't, gone from restriction and straight into overindulgence. And that's unfortunately where we get the undoing. And this time of year, we know that exclusively, this is where most people end up putting on more weight. So although they've done, some dieting and they've been in a deficit and they've made some amazing progress, they come into this phase and they think, well, I've reached my goal. This is perfect. And they switch off, and then they start January from day one again. And that's where the risk lies. Would you agree?
I agree 100%. And I like how you say they switch off, because they literally have this switch. What it seems like they have this switch in their brain. It's like, okay, I'm going to switch off right now. I'm going to enjoy this holiday. I feel like they already know, like, I'm going to put on weight, and that's okay, because next year is going to come around and I'm going to start with everything again. But why do you do that to yourself? You're only making it more challenging for yourself. You're only making it harder for you to get started. You're only making it harder for you to make this a lifestyle. Something we always say as well is like, fitness is not just about losing weight and gaining muscle mass and looking more toned and looking more sexy. Yes, it's obviously part of that, but it's more about taking control of your life, taking control of the things that you are doing, taking control of your nutrition, of your training, because it's more a mindset thing. It's not just about looking pretty. It's more about how you feel on the inside. How does exercise makes you feel? Like after you finish your workout or after you go for a run, how do you feel? I'm pretty sure the answer is going to be happy. You feel like you have released all that stress, all that anger, all that frustration that maybe you had before doing your workout or going for that run. So that's something for you to think about, because that switch that you have right now, there's something that needs to change, because I think you're looking at fitness in the wrong direction, in the wrong way. And this is just not going to help you long term, because right now you have to think about long term, not just about the next 12 or 8 weeks. It's what's going to happen in the next few months, in the next few years. Is this going to be a cycle that's going to keep repeating every single year? I'm making progress from January until October, and then from October or November, December, I go back to square one, and then I do again. It's like taking a few steps forward and then going a few steps back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also there's always that, that situation where people are constantly in that idea of, we get these people, women, unfortunately, some of us have been sucked into this from a young age, but the constant diet rabbit, the hamster on the wheel, constantly chasing diet after restriction after, quick goal. And I think the really important thing here is lifestyle is the key and consistency is the key.
Yeah.
And it's allowing ourselves to, rather than looking for that instant gratification constantly, where we constantly aim for, getting those seeing those numbers drop on the scales and whatever it is. Look, we want to enjoy this time of year, but there are strategies and there are tactics in terms of how to get that without, going backwards and taking backward step. There are ways that we can We can create some awareness around nutrition. We can create, variety and flexibility within our workouts. I know that this time of year gets quite busy for people. And often when we're thinking about Christmas, you mentioned this before, there are work parties, there are, mini vacations or holidays before actual Christmas as well. The social calendar starts to really fill up. And now, if you haven't spent that time building a really good relationship with food, with your body as well, and the way that you you view yourself, your confidence in yourself, that can be quite damaging, going from one extreme and completely to another. So I think there's definitely massive value in being in a mindset of going and being guided through this situation, and changing and adapting your lifestyle. So actually, I think, again, when we're thinking about people being busy, they forget about things like the gym or activity. Things get colder and wetter outside, especially where I'm from, and in England, it's cold, it's horrible. And actually, for you, you're on the opposite scale. Actually, things are, I guess, I guess things are getting warmer where you are. Do you find though that's actually maybe even a positive step for you? Because I feel like we're reading from the same script here, and in terms of we're talking about the same lifestyle choices that people need to make, but especially here in the UK, because we are not motivated by hot weather or sunshine or spring coming. Everything is baggy clothes and everything's cold, and people might want to come into Christmas and just take everything really easy, and then when they get to January, that's where the motivation tends to kick in. How does that work for people on your side of the planet?
So for us right now, it's a spring. It's gonna be summer in literally 1 month, I think, or like a month and a half, something like that. Obviously, I think summertime gives you that little push, that little motivation, because it's summertime. I'm gonna go to the beach. I want to wear that nice swimwear, that nice swimsuit. I want to look nice, be able to wear shorts because I want to show my legs, show my hard work. But it's a little bit hard to say right now, just because the weather keeps changing every single day. That right now it feels like winter. It doesn't even feel like spring at all. So I feel like even now it's meant to be a spring, but it's more like winter. People still don't feel motivated because it's so cold in the mornings. It's so wet in the mornings. You don't feel like getting up. You don't feel like going to the gym because it's so freaking cold. So I think it should be the other way around, but it's not. Just because the weather, it's like, it's not helping. I mean, it's not an excuse, but it's just not really helping too much.
Wow. That's such a different perspective, though, in terms of my assumption would be, if I put myself into sort of, your world and, where you are right now in New Zealand, I would be thinking about maybe even the clients wanting to get looking better for the Barbie on the beach. I guess you guys do that there, right?
Yeah, but it just, I think, like, I still get messages from my clients saying, like, I'm really struggling to wake up in the mornings to go gym just because it's so cold, or it's raining and I just don't feel like going. I'm like, yeah, I know it's raining, I know it's cold, but you just have to get it done. Like, if the morning is the only time that you can get it done, make it work. Yes, it's hard before you go to the gym because it's cold, you don't feel like it. But once you're there, you're gonna feel amazing. Once you finish your workout, you're gonna feel like so that's always something to keep in mind. But let's share some tips that can help them stay on track during this events festive season. I know you have some tips. I've got some tips right here. So let's share this with them, because I know if you're listening, you're probably waiting for this right now. So I think that tip number one that I have for you, it's to plan ahead. Planning, it's literally everything. And this is something, again, we tell you guys all the time. Planning is literally everything. Like, if let's say this weekend, you have a few events. You have a work party on Friday. Then you have a reunion with your family on Saturday. Then you have a reunion with your friends on Sunday. That's like 3 events in one weekend. That's pretty like full on. Something that I would suggest, okay, plan ahead. I know that Friday we're going to be going to this restaurant. Saturday we're going to be doing a barbecue. Sunday we're going to go to this restaurant. Look at the menu, see what the options are. Don't just go there and then stress about, oh my gosh, there's so many things, I don't know what to order. Plan ahead so you know exactly what things are the healthiest or like the best option for you to have. And then during the day, have your meals as usual. There's no need for you to starve yourself for that barbecue or to not eat anything the whole night just because you want to look amazing the next day. Planning is going to change everything. So don't stress too much. If you have time, plan, even if it's on a Friday morning, even if it's on Saturday morning. But as long as you have a game plan for that day, that's going to make you feel better. And that's going to ensure that you don't have that stress and that you're not overthinking too much and thinking, oh my gosh, eating out every single day for this weekend is going to make me put on 10 kgs. Like, that's not going to happen. It's just one weekend, relax. One weekend is not going to change anything, I promise. As long as you make smart choices, that's the best thing you can do right now. What's something else you will suggest?
I think, as you've said there as well, like planning meals before you go out, etc. But actually, planning there's so much with planning. I think it just goes such a long way. But we need to think about scheduling as well. I think that's definitely a part of it. It needs to be in the diary. Definitely making making good use of time the morning, although it's not great being up that early. We have to kind of get slightly uncomfortable with comfortable with being uncomfortable, but also really having that definitive and specific goal as well. Like, goals go a long way. You need to really define what it is that you want to achieve between now and Christmas, and also what you want Christmas to look like. So I know here it's probably harder because you are going to start getting warmer weather, but here we're actually getting colder weather. And this is the time where people generally start to reduce, their NEAT or their, the activity that they do outside of exercise. They become more sedentary because it's cold. So I think we need to have those mini goals in place to help having that clear target to stay motivated. And again, the schedule with the workouts, if it needs to be shorter in time and it needs to be more frequent, just so that we really maximize the morning. Not everyone's going to have a clear hour and a half first thing before work. If you start work at 9 and you need to be out the house by 7:30 normally, or whatever that your commute's like, or whether you work from home, there's you've got to get ready, you've got to shower, you've got to have your food or your meals planned out for the day. Really important to schedule these things in. And actually, Daniela, doing things the night before as well really help. Having your gym kit ready by the door, knowing what you're going to have for the next day, so you just take that sort of exhaustion out of your mind, and having to think on the spot and responding to hunger on the go. Just committing and just finding that consistency within that schedule, and those shorter workouts. So half an hour, maybe you do the half an hour and it's part of your routine that you do every day, just to kind of get and get more bang for your buck when it comes to your actual regime, your workout regime, rather than trying to find an hour and a half like twice a week to cram everything in. That might have worked earlier in the year, or over the summer, for example, for us here, when you could go to the gym after work, but now it's just things have changed.
And also feel like make it a non-negotiable. Like, if you're gonna be busy, especially the weeks leading up to Christmas, if you have like 2 weeks off or 3 weeks off from work, make it a non-negotiable to get your workouts done. If you're gonna be going away somewhere and then that place doesn't have a gym, you can still do like home workouts. You can still go for a run, or just go for a walk, but make it your non-negotiable. Okay, I'm gonna plan my week. I know I won't have time this and this day, but I'm gonna ensure to get my workouts done. Let's just say Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Even if before you were used to getting your workouts done 5 times a week, but this time you only have time for 3 times a week. 3 times, it's better than nothing. So write it down, put it in your calendar, and I will suggest, highly suggest, get it done in the morning. because if you are away on a holiday, you will most likely do things during the day. So you know you won't get it done late at nighttime or afternoon or whatever. It's easier to get it done first thing in the morning. Again, it should be your non-negotiable. Get up, get it done, even if it's just 30 minutes, like Richu said, it doesn't matter how long, but just get some activity, some training done in your day. And then you have the rest of your day to enjoy your vacation or do whatever it is that you have to do, go to work or whatever.
Yeah.
But just planning ahead, having that on your schedule and changing things if you have to. You can always go back to 5 days a week after Christmas or whenever you go back to your normal routine. That's not going to change anything at all. And something else I think that can help you, it's portion control, because portion control is something that makes a huge difference. Sometimes I feel like we feel that because we have food available for free, we have this available for free. Free sometimes equals like, I need to have more of this, it's free. I need to make the most out of this and like enjoy everything, like I feel in my plate. Yeah, but that's then only gonna make you feel bloated. That's gonna make you feel yuck because you maybe ate too much. You were indulging too much. Why do you do that to yourself? Like, go there, enjoy. If you want to have that cake, have that cake. But this doesn't mean you need to have 3 plates of cake or the whole cake. Just have your portion, enjoy it, enjoy every single bite, and then you're gonna feel good and you won't feel guilty, because the more you have it, you're gonna enjoy at that moment, and then you're gonna be like, oh, why did I have that much ice cream? Or why did I have those 2 plates of whatever food was available? Focus on your portion control, and I can guarantee that's going to make a huge difference. And it's one of those things that, yes, it's easier said than done, but if you don't do it, how is it going to help you? How is that going to make a change for you? So you have to practice it, and you have to do it every single time, because that's something that will change everything for you. So practice your portion control, and you're going to hear this from us every single podcast, but portion control is literally everything.
Yeah, I agree with you there, actually. And again, it's having that shift in mindset. So, I could talk here actually about maybe alcohol, for example. And, when people have like unlimited amounts, and I would use this term before, almost like drinking as if the bar is going to get up and run away. Like that is not the way to do it. Like, enjoy yourself, be merry. But yeah, I think thinking about alcohol itself, there are options. You want to have a clear mindset as well. Excuse me, especially if you are still working, there's going to be countless events night after night. Pick your days. Maybe even think about limiting how much you are going to have in terms of alcohol. Like, don't completely cut it out. If you find that there are certain situations that you would like to enjoy something, there are also lower calorie options. Thinking about how you have your alcohol with mixers as well. So opting for like, diet options, or even like on the rocks. There are adaptations we can make when it comes to, enjoying alcohol moderately and, not being excessive about it, because at the end of the day, you're only going to feel worse. You're going to feel rotten. And quite often it's going to affect your sleep as well. If you haven't had a good night's sleep, you're more likely to want to overindulge the next day. It does affect your hormone, for example. Just purely by not having that sleep, you're more likely to overindulge the next day. Again, you're just setting yourself up, for so just be mindful basically when it comes to the alcohol. And I think similarly with that, choosing other options where possible when it comes to socializing. So if you have the opportunity to do something active, you're meeting up with friends, it doesn't always have to involve alcohol. And, there are other ways, you can go and do, especially in the UK, we can go and do like ice skating, for example, or, going for a walk. There are ways that you can kind of, we have something here actually called Winter Wonderland, for example, over in London in Hyde Park.
Nice.
That's really fun. But you know, you can use the opportunities to go, right, you know what we're going to do is we're going to go and have a walk around London. We'll grab some coffees and we'll get moving. And you know, I think there are opportunities to create, you know, socialization, you know, active socialization. One of the previous places that I was employed at before I became the girl boss, I used to work in a physiotherapy clinic, and actually for our Christmas party, we would, and our boss was really hot on this, we'd always do an activity. And there's something in suggesting that with your workplace as well, is doing an activity which is active. So whether that's like bouldering, you know, like the indoor rock climbing, or, you know, it's going out and playing a game or doing bowling or something. There are ways to take things away. You can still have, you know, like for bowling, for example, you can have alcohol as part of that, but
yeah,
it can be, you know, it's not just a constant drinking game.
yeah,
So you know what I mean? Yeah.
I feel like alcohol, some people have this mindset like, if I want to have fun, I need to have some alcohol.
Yeah.
I need to be drinking if I want to be able to socialize. I need to have that alcohol in me if I want to feel good and have a good time. But I feel like we need to change that mindset that alcohol, it's a must if you want to have fun. Alcohol, it has to be present if you want to enjoy that time with your friends, family, or coworkers. It doesn't have to be like that. It's only like that if you want to make it like that. If you feel like alcohol is a must and that's in your mindset, then you're going to make alcohol a must. And then you're going to be drinking, you're going to be drunk, maybe too drunk, and then the next day you're gonna be like, oh, why did I drink too much? And you're gonna have the headache, and then like you say, like you're gonna feel like eating too much because your energy levels are gonna be so low, you won't make it to your training. You're gonna be eating McDonald's maybe for breakfast, and then you're gonna have KFC for lunch, you know, just something nice and quick. But nowadays there's so many alcohol, like low calorie alcohol options, or like non-alcoholic options that still taste really good. It still makes you feel like you're drinking something, but you don't necessarily have to drink too much. Like, change that mindset. Like, that's something I'm telling you. I mean, I don't like alcohol, so
Same
I know
here, actually.
yeah. I think it's easier for us to say that. I know, like, let's say, yeah.
You know, it's interesting,
yeah.
because with the alcohol thing, I feel like when I started to see progress in the gym, for example, and I was really like driven on that progress, I felt like that doing that would, you know, create a dent in my progress. It would bring me a setback, right? And is that why you kind of refrain from having it as a part of your life? But yeah, like you said, there's so many low calorie options, and even like fun non-alcoholic drinks. Have you tried kombucha?
I love kombucha. I have it pretty much, not every day, but I have it quite often. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I like that in the summertime.
Yeah, it's nice. I always put some ice, kombucha. It's always with me. But I just quickly want to talk about like one client in particular that she's with me right now. And she's someone that she used to drink pretty much every single weekend, because she's a very social person. So she will go to a friend's house or to a dinner with her friends or whatever, and there was always alcohol around. And I asked her, like, do you actually enjoy drinking? Like, do you feel like you have to drink? And she's like, actually, I don't. But I feel like if I want to have fun, I need to, or to feel included, I need to have that alcohol. And I was like, okay, how about I challenge you this weekend? Because I know you're going to go out this weekend. Go there, have fun, but don't feel like you need to drink. Like, if you really, really feel like drinking, then have a drink. But if you don't want to drink, say no to your friends. Don't drink it. Just have that water with you, that Coke Zero, or whatever drink you want to have. But I can guarantee you can still have a good time without alcohol. She's like, okay, like, let me try it. Let's see what happens. And then the next week, it was Monday. I was like, so how was your weekend? How was you drinking or not drinking? She's like, actually, it was really good. I didn't drink. Well, I only had one drink. Before I would have plenty of drinks, and then the next day I would just feel like hangover and like, you know, too tired to do things. But this time I decided not to drink because I didn't want to drink. I felt really good the next day. I went to the gym the next day, and it was just a really good experience. And I was like, this just shows me you don't necessarily you don't necessarily need to have alcohol in your system to have fun or be able to socialize. Like, you can still have fun without that much alcohol in your blood. So maybe that's something for you guys. Like if you're listening to this or watching this and you feel like
Yeah.
I need to have alcohol, or like I must have alcohol every single time I go out, just try it. Just give it a try. If you don't try, you will never know. Just try to be a little bit sober. You don't have to be completely sober, but instead of having 20 drinks, just go for 3 or 4 drinks, change it up a little bit and see how you feel. See how that makes you feel, and also see how you feel the next day and the following day, because drinking affects your whole week, not just the next day. It's pretty much that
Exactly.
alcohol in your blood, in your system for a few days. So think wisely. Think wisely with the choices that you're making. Don't just feel pressure to do something that you don't want to do. And I
It's
think,
massively,
yeah,
yeah.
alcohol, especially I feel like in this country, I feel like it's every culture in every country, but I feel alcohol in New Zealand, alcohol is a really big part of New Zealand. I feel like
Wow.
people, yeah, when people socialize, there's always, I can guarantee there's always, always, always alcohol around. There's always alcohol present, and people just like sit down on a circle or whatever, and they just drink and drink and drink and drink and drink. So I
I
feel
just thought that was something that people did in the UK. I feel
no.
like things have changed, but here there's been, definitely a massive drink culture.
Mm,
Um, and I think it's interesting because I think the more you gravitate to using fitness as a form of self-care and, like confidence building and, feeling like happy for this body that you are working on and this mindset as well. Look, I just feel like people are starting to change here. And I think they realize there is great detriment. I mean, like all the things you've mentioned, but, affecting your sleep, your productivity at work the next day. You might actually do some really embarrassing things when drunk as well. So you
exactly.
want to be able to, but also, isn't there some pleasure in enjoying those social events and actually remembering photographs or
Mm,
scenarios or pictures or videos, or remembering those times with a
yeah.
clear mindset as opposed to kind of thinking, what happened?
Yeah, something that I will never understand is why people drink to the point that they don't remember anything. Like, how was your night? Oh, actually, I don't know. I don't remember. What do you mean you don't remember? I don't know. I had too much
Oh,
drinks. I'm like, why do you do that to yourself? Like, is that something you want
yeah.
to keep doing? Is that something that you feel like you're gonna be proud of when you're a little bit older? And
Mm,
talk to your grandkids or whatever. Is that, I don't know. I just feel like obviously it's up to you, do whatever you want to do, but
yeah.
I just
Yeah.
personally I don't see the point of getting too drunk to the point that you just don't remember one thing from last night. That's just, yeah, that's, for me, that's not worth it. It's not worth it at all.
Mm,
And I feel
I
like,
agree with you.
yeah,
Yeah.
something that goes along with alcohol, or another tip that can help you stay on track during this Christmas festive season, is just staying hydrated. It's staying
Yeah.
hydrated. I mean, it's something, again, we always tell you guys, but staying hydrated, especially now, it's going to be key, because sometimes we can confuse hunger with thirst. Maybe you haven't been drinking too much water that day because you've been so busy running around the house doing things. You have people coming over or whatever, and then you feel like you're hungry, but maybe you're not hungry, you're thirsty. So learn how do you differentiate between the two, being hungry and then just being thirsty. So always try to have your water bottle with you if you can, or just have one glass of water every hour if you can, but just make sure you stay hydrated. And if you're going to be drinking, also stay hydrated in between drinks, because if you're not hydrated, you're not going to pay attention to how many glasses you're having, how many glasses of alcohol you're having, or how many drinks you're having. But if you take your little breaks in between alcohol and just have one glass of water or
Mm,
2 glasses of water, it's going to help you stay on track. It's going to help you ensure that you don't overdrink, that you don't have too many drinks. And it's just going to make you feel better the next day, because you're going to be hydrating. Remember, alcohol dehydrates you, water hydrates you. So you're going to be like balancing that thing. And yeah, just making you feel
mm.
better.
Yeah, no, good. A really good tips, actually. And it's interesting because I don't think we plan to really talk as much about alcohol, but
Mm,
it's definitely for some people,
yeah.
it's a big part of the season, all the celebrations and Christmas itself. And just kind of coming back really to your why as well, like really
Mm,
thinking about what is this journey? What does it mean to you? What is your fitness journey? And hopefully that can help provide some motivation during these challenging times. So always revisit those mini goals. And another thing that I guess comes in with this, with all the repetitive, you know, because it's burnout is real as well with socialization. And I think it's really important for us to think about rest as well. Having a day, you know, we're not saying to you, right, you've got to eat like this throughout. Okay, I know we've talked about being quite flexible with your meals and ways to manage things. And the training as well, the ways to fit that in. But many of you still have work to go to. Many of you still have families to look after. Many of you still have, you know, other activities that form part of your week. So really think about how you work rest into that as well, rest and recovery. So, you know, don't say yes to absolutely everything out there. Allow yourself to say no sometimes, which I think is so important as well, because I would say that in my younger years, I'd always be quite, you know, driven to staying, how can I say, like, to never saying no. Oh my God, I've got to go out. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. And actually, I think having time to do nothing is massively important to your mental health as well. You need time to switch off.
I think
Any last words from you, Daniela?
Two things. Number one, I think saying no, learning how to say no, it's a big one, because if you don't learn to have those barriers, to put those barriers, it's not because you don't want to see that person, but remember, you always have to think about yourself first. Do I feel rested enough? Do I need more rest? Do I really want to go to this event? Do I really want to go to this party? If you truly want to go, obviously go, but don't feel like you have to say yes just because you're not. If you say no, you're gonna disappoint the other person, or you know, whatever goes through your mind. Like, it's okay to say no. So we need to start learning to say no. And my last tip that I will give you guys, I know we talk about portion control, staying hydrated, alcohol, training, planning, but the main and the biggest tip for me will be enjoy. Make sure you enjoy. Yes, we have given you all these tips, but at the end of the day, Christmas, it's only once a year. New Year's is only once a year. So make sure that, especially if you only see your family around this time of the year, take some time to truly enjoy that time with them. Take some time to truly enjoy some time with yourself as well. There's nothing better than enjoying that alone time. Enjoy, have fun. If for whatever reason you were not able to stay on track, there's always a tomorrow to try again. So don't punish yourself. Don't make yourself feel too guilty or too much, or don't give yourself too much stress. There's always a tomorrow to try again. If today was not a good day, if yesterday was not the best, tomorrow try again and try a little bit better, try to do a little bit better. But my main thing will be, just enjoy. It's the festive season. Don't be too hard on yourself, but at the same time, don't be too relaxed. Like, there's like limits. There's something in between that. Enjoy, do the best that you can. And I think, that's the best advice we can give you right now.
Daniela, absolutely love that. Thank you so much for closing this topic, actually, with just such value as well. Like, honestly, guys, we're here as your coaches. If you need us to help you on your journey, reach out to us. This has been the Girl Boss Method. I've been Richu Bra and Daniela Del Carpio, as well as guest. I will leave the where you can find us both as well to make contact via Instagram. Send us a message and we'll be happy to help.